YouTube. This is Rob, and I want to dedicate this video to all my new haters and all the people that believe in mainstream media or mainstream science, which is NASA science, by the way. I want to dedicate this to you guys. I just want to say that I appreciate actually my haters. I don't really hate you guys or anything like that. I just actually you guys make me better at this. That's what I like about that, and I appreciate that. And I just want to show you guys something though about your guys' science or what you believe to be science. I just want to, in psychology, you can tell when you're being manipulated if you pay attention to whoever's manipulating you. If you pay attention to their behavior and then their attitude, and then you kind of see how they interact with one another, and when there's like discrepancies, it becomes obvious that you're being manipulated. If their attitude doesn't jive with the behavior that they show. And here's one example why I can't stand NASA. Okay, here you got obviously a cartoon picture of Mars. Okay, they went to the trouble of taking an actual image of Mars and then color it in. Why would you color in the image and then also color in the mosaic too? Why would, doesn't that not, isn't this like the dumbest thing you've ever seen in your life? Like, if you're going to take the time, if you're going to color this thing, why would you color the mosaic too? Like, it doesn't even make sense. They have an opportunity to go ahead and blend this all in so it doesn't look like a Frankenstein picture of Mars. And I don't understand how people don't get get upset over this. This is like stupid. I mean, who would do that? I mean, yeah, okay, you're going to take all the time to color it in here, and you're just going to go ahead and leave it like color in the mosaic part. It doesn't make sense. It's actually easy. It's just as easy to just make it all the same. Actually, I think it would be easier to color this all one color correctly than to color it in and match all these cuts, which I can't imagine why they'd even have to cut the images like this. I don't know. It's just so dumb. And they really just do whatever. I can't believe that they actually pass this off. I mean, if you really think about this, how just dumb that is. Come on. Okay, there's manipulation going on. Nobody does this. Nobody would color in Mars and then also color in the mosaic too. They wouldn't do it. Just why would you want to do that? There's no logic behind that. There's absolutely no logic behind this except for it has to be deception. There's something they don't want you to notice or something. It's obvious because nobody's this stupid. Not on purpose anyways. Or not by accident, actually, I mean. Anyways, that's just one thing. Here's the other thing that's wrong with your guys' science, what you believe is science. Actually, it's not science, it's your religion. If you follow and believe mainstream science, it's not a science, it's a religion. Okay? And you guys are acting, I'm just telling you, you guys are acting just like the religious fanatics do about their religion when you guys are defending this. Okay? Because you guys believe what they say, you guys miss out on a lot of cool shit. And I learned this from the electric universe theory. But here you got our planets, right? You ever played that game when you're a kid? Which one is not like the rest or whatever? Well, you could do that with this right here. You got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. You'll notice that there's planets here that share a similar axis. Okay, the sun is straight up and down like it'll be straight up and down like Mercury. Okay, but at 0 degrees. Okay, now which one of these are similar that are different than the rest? You got Earth, the 23 degree tilt. You got Mars, which is 25. That's only 1.5 difference. They're rotating the same. Okay, you look at Jupiter, that's no good. That's not the same. Then you got Saturn. It sits at 26 degrees, which is one more degree than Mars. Okay, actually, it's kind of trippy because you can, if you notice that, and then there's also Neptune, but I don't think some people consider Neptune close enough, but I do in a way. It's close enough for me because it actually fits the order that you see here. You see this is straightening up as you get closer to the sun. The Earth is 23. Mars is a little bit more, just a degree and a half angled more. Then Saturn is another degree. So you can see that they're, in a way, the closer as they get to the sun, they're starting to straighten up and match the axis of the sun. That's what happens. Well, the electric universe automatically, they see this and they realize that there must be a reason why these ones share the same axis, and it's different than the rest of them. And they simply come to the logical conclusion, which, I mean, it is logical, that these planets were captured by the sun. Okay? How come NASA doesn't tell you this? I mean, it's the logical conclusion here, right? I mean, if you disagree, why don't you tell me why these would share the same degree, but not with the parent star here? Also, in the electric universe theory, we know that we believe Saturn and Jupiter are actually brown dwarf stars. They're not ignited because the sun is scavenging their power. It's bigger than them, so the second they came into the heliosphere, the sun takes over the power that they were feeding off of. And it's kind of obvious that we belong to a different solar system, and it would be the Saturn solar system. And if you ever get the chance, you really should check out the electric universe theory, because it's an amazing theory that really simply explains so much so easily. And it's funny because you mainstream science people believe that it's a pseudoscience, but there's a problem with that thought, because we actually deal with reality. We deal with electromagnetism. Your guys' science actually creates and invents forces to compensate for them leaving out electromagnetism. And that's right. You're being lied to. That's the bottom line. And if you're going to get fanatical over it like a religious nut does, well, that's, I mean, really, I feel sorry for you, but it's true. If you really pay attention to what NASA says and does, and you'll notice that they leave out information, and it always seems to be electromagnetic related. And then what they do is then they invent a force. If they don't want you to know about electromagnetism, well, they're going to leave it out. Because they left it out, now they have to create an imaginary force to compensate for what they left out. And that's where you get dark matter, dark energy, and you get these new black holes now are actually the center of all galaxies and all that BS. It's a bunch of crap. You're being lied to, and you don't know it because you actually have embedded this science into your identity, just like religious people do when they get crazy, like the Muslims versus the Jews and the Christians and all that, and they start killing themselves, trying to kill one another. I mean, that's where you guys are going with this. I mean, come on, why would you do that? I mean, it's not worth it, it's not, beliefs are not worth it, Put it this way, would you rather just believe the truth, or would you rather go with the crowd that believes a lie because you don't want to feel different? That you gotta really think about what kind of person you are really here. You're either gonna go on believing what the crowd believes because you don't want to be different for some reason, and it's all about social pressures, or you're just one of those people that goes with the truth. Well, I'm one of those people that goes with the truth, and I can tell you it's way better. I mean, like if somebody was to prove the electric universe theory wrong, I would move on. I would move on to the next one. But so far that hasn't happened, and I don't think it's gonna happen because I'm almost it's obvious that the electric universe is how it is. I mean, where the only reason why it hasn't been accepted yet is because there's people that are running the show that don't want it to be accepted. That's the only reason. If you actually looked into it for yourself and had an open mind instead of using your belief system to guide you, you know that's how you get screwed up. By the way, you start once you're convinced of a lie, it's almost impossible for you to actually see the truth, and that's what you're having. That's the problem you guys are having. And it's just an inferior place to be. It really is. And then plus it makes you act crazy when people come up with information that doesn't jibe with what you think how things are. Well, then you get kind of nutty. Like the Muslims and all that crap that's going on right now. You know, it's just irrational. Okay, and look, I just showed you the angles there. I dare one of you just to just tell me some other reason why those would share the same axis angle, and tell me why it wouldn't be that it was captured, that we were captured by our sun, when we used to be when we were a solar system with Saturn. Okay, I know you can't, but I would hope you give it a try anyways. I mean, but look what you're missing here, though. You're by believing what you believe, you actually get to miss out on the truth, and that Saturn was our parent star. Because if you actually went and learned something about the electric universe theory, they believe, not just by believe, they have good strong evidence that brown dwarf stars are like they make planets that have life on them, because they produce the material needed for life, and it makes sense. It really does. But it only makes sense if you're not stuck in a lie. Okay, it should make this should make sense to you, and if it doesn't, it's because you got some beliefs that are incorrect, and you need to deal with them. I mean, or get nutty. I guess get nutty with it if you have to. Whatever you got to do. But I prefer to know the truth, and I prefer not to be led. I don't like to have people tell me how the universe is. I like to see for myself. And basically, NASA is pretty much trying to tell you how it is when it's not that way. I mean, I don't know. Some people were. It seems like some people were designed to be manipulated. If it was actually like, it's almost as if you're bred to like a flock, or so, like you're being bred to be like livestock or something. Believe like a cattle. Like they simply paint lines in the road, and the cattle just automatically assume that they're greats and won't walk over it. That's what it's like for I that's how I see it. Like I see all these people that just being like herded around, and they don't even know it. They're just so convinced that they got it. Because they believe, they're like the herd mentality. It's like, well, if all these people think this, well, it must be true. Well, all those people think whatever this small group of people are telling them what to think. And you better be, if you're gonna allow, if you're one to allow someone to tell you how things are, well, you better make sure that those people that are telling you how things aren't lying to you. Because if they are, you're heading down the road of trouble. That's for sure. Yeah, I don't ever give someone the reins of what I think how things are. That's insane, actually. You know, it's like giving, like say, giving Hitler the keys to the bus. And, I mean, it's just crazy. And then have him drive you to the, right off a cliff or something. I mean, you got to be careful. You got to be careful about who you invest your beliefs into, because beliefs are irrational. And you just really need to watch out. I mean, look at what we get to know this, and you don't. And NASA had to have figured this out a long time ago, because it is not that hard to figure out. I mean, just, I mean, it's actually easy. And I bet you I could show you this to an elementary school kid and they would get it right away. These axes are the same and they're different from the parent star. Well, that means that this is, you know, it's been captured, absolutely captured. And the reason that they probably have that angle is that that's probably the angle that they came in at when they were captured. I mean, it's so common sense. It's really not that hard. Anybody could figure this out, but yet NASA can't. I'd I'd seriously rethink your guys' theory and who's controlling it. Because if you think about it, in order to know who you are, you're gonna have to know what's going on around you. You're gonna have to know this universe because you're made out of it. There's a connection. There's a connection between you and this universe and this planet. And if you don't know the truth about any of those, then you don't know who you are. If you really think about it. And that's a pretty big thing. I don't know if you're into spirituality and stuff like that, or you don't even have to be into that. Anybody could realize that this is actually pretty important. And if you got someone that's controlling the way you see reality and the universe, then they're controlling how you see yourself, and that's just no good. I mean, that's just no good. You really need to take back the reins on how you see things, because I can tell you you're being led down the wrong path. I can guarantee you that, because this is simple. This should never have been missed. Here's another thing that NASA doesn't tell you. Um, in the electric universe theory, hexagon craters we know are electrical related. Okay, because they Birkeland currents will produce these shapes, these hexagon shapes. Meteors impacts don't hit a planet and make a hexagon shaped crater. That's just dumb. I mean, think about it. That's logical, right? Not only do they not do that, but they also don't repeatedly hit in a straight line like this, okay? They just don't. Anybody can figure that out, right? Meteors do not hit and create a line like this, but electrical does. Giant bolts of electrical, much larger than lightning, will definitely make craters, and it's been done. It's been proven, but yet you're not going to hear it because you won't see anything other than mainstream science, and therefore you're left out of the truth. Okay, these lines right here are the same thing as this basically, but smaller. In the electric, now what would cause this? In the electric universe theory, they know that meteors will cause this, but not by impacting the planet. They cause it by like a near miss, and when that happens, most of the time there's a discharge between the meteor or another planet if it gets too close, because they have different electrical charges. This is simple to understand. It really is. In the electric universe theory, electricity is scalable, which means that it acts the same whether it's a tiny little spark when you touch the door handle, or whether it's a planet that goes by another planet and gets too close. There'll be a discharge between the two. And that would explain why you got a line like this, because if it's a meteor that got too close, then it's going to discharge as it's going by, and that's what you get like this. Okay? And if you don't think so, check this out. Okay, hold on a second. Here, there's Mercury, there's Jupiter. That is an electrical discharge coming off of Jupiter. And I believe there's a comet, I forget which one, in the area, and I think that's what did it. But this is what happens. This is really what happens. Yeah, see how it looks just like how the sun flares. And this is Jupiter. Okay? And Jupiter acting like our sun. That should be, I mean, if you're a rational, logical person and you don't let NASA tell you what things are, you would come to this conclusion naturally. Okay? There's something wrong with your science you know, if they're keeping this from you. And they are keeping this from you. But Jupiter's not the only one that can make a discharge. Check a look at this. This is Venus. And this one, I know there's a comet coming by or something happens here. And then, there you go, discharge. And that's Venus. That's not even a gas planet. NASA doesn't want you to know this. Why would they not tell you about this? You guys can't see that you're being lied to. The less you know about the universe, the less you know about yourself. And here's another thing. There's NASA's solar model, and then there's the electric universe solar model. And in the electric universe, of course, the sun is electric. And they believe that magnetic fields pinch down currents of electricity that are invisible to the naked eye, pinches them down so much that it becomes a star. And you know, a theory is pretty good if you can replicate it in a lab. Now, I'd like to see NASA replicate their theory of a nuclear explosion being our sun in a lab. That would be great, because we'd eliminate one big problem right then. And the other thing is that nuclear explosions really don't make the light, from what I've learned from watching YouTube, actually. They don't make the light that plants need in order to grow and photosynthesis. So here is a lab.
Well-recognized building at CERN is certainly the
using
globe of science
electricity
and
to
innovation.
reproduce the sun.
Considered CERN's headquarters, this incredible building is 40 meters in diameter and 27 meters high.
Yeah.
In addition to the dome shape, this structure also has a hole in the top, which is covered by
Let me
glass.
just fast forward this.
Models of the CERN dome were placed in a vacuum chamber and high voltage electricity was applied. Some amazing plasma formations developed. Between the two CERN dome-shaped magnetic field emitters, you will notice a sun-like sphere of plasma with an outer shell surrounding it. Then you will notice a disk of plasma around the equator of this sphere, as well as axial jets being emitted from the nucleus of the reaction. In addition, this plasma structure spins at high speeds, and solar flare-like emissions are also seen coming from the core of the reaction. Experimental parameters such as spacing and orientation of the emitters were varied to see what effects these changes had on the plasma formations that developed.
Yeah, those are magnets,
In
by the way.
addition, several different
Those would
purging
be the
gases
magnetic
were
fields
used
that
to
I was
see what
telling you
effect this would have
They
on the
would pinch.
plasma. The gases tried thus far include ordinary air, argon, hydrogen, and helium.
And our universe is full of hydrogen.
After several days of experimentation,
You know,
the
what's funny
magnetic
is that right
models
there
of the
looks
CERN
just
dome
like
were removed
the
from the
eye of the
vacuum chamber
Sahara.
and photographed. Here you can see some of the very colorful glass
And look at the
deposits that
hexagon
were
shape in the
formed
middle.
during these plasma
You see that?
experiments.
That's what we're talking about.
A large number of experiments were conducted, not only with these magnetic bowls, but also with magnetic bowls of other geometries. The results of these experiments have some very
So,
exciting
our
implications for
science is a lot
physics,
more interesting than
heliophysics,
yours.
and astrophysics.
I can tell you that right now. And that's just barely scratches the surface of what you guys are missing out on, by the way. So this video wasn't, I meant this video to turn out differently than it has, but you know, I don't like to make long videos because I don't think people will watch them all the way to the end. So I guess in my next video, I'm gonna start proving my theory more, but I figure you guys need some more information about the electric universe theory in order to understand what I'm saying. So, anyways, that's what I got for you.